This week, we're pulling back the curtain on a few things that school taught us that maybe we didn't even realize. See, school isn't really just about the basics. It's also about those invisible lessons. Lessons that shape how we see ourselves or how we behave or how we even parent. And a lot of those lessons weren't good for us. So today I want to talk about 3 hidden lessons that schools drilled into us and how they show up in our adult lives in ways that we might not even notice. More importantly, I'm going to show how unschooling helps us unlearn them so we can give our kids something different, a little better. I'm Sue Patterson, and this is the Unschooling Mom to Mom podcast, where I bring 10-minute unschooling pep talks to you to help you grow your confidence. No matter where you live, I want to remind you that you are not alone doing this. Unschoolers are out there raising their kids, launching them into adulthood, and doors didn't close for them just because we took this unconventional approach. The unschoolingmomtomom.com website has so many resources to help you figure out what your next steps are on this path. I'll leave links in the description below if you want more support. This week, we're talking about 3 of the lessons that schools tried to teach us that did sink in a little bit. Some of us more than others. But as unschoolers, we can undo some of these. And the first one is follow directions and don't ask questions. In school, compliance was the name of the game. It's the first silent lesson we learn. Sit still, don't talk, do what's assigned, know what you're curious about, and don't ask why. Sure, it keeps the classroom orderly, but it trains all of us to wait for permission before acting or thinking or exploring. And then we wonder why grown-ups feel stuck or uninspired or dependent on someone else to tell us what to do next. And what happens when we carry that into adulthood? We might wait for someone else to tell us the right way to parent, even if it doesn't feel right for our kids. We second-guess ourselves instead of trusting our gut. We get stuck looking for an authority figure, a boss, a teacher, some expert to give us permission to do what we want to do. Can you see that in yourself sometimes? I know I've felt it. Hesitating, worried that I might get something wrong. The hesitation isn't really natural. It's learned. And unschooling helps us flip this. Our kids get to follow their curiosity instead of just blindly following orders. And as parents, we start practicing that too. Listening to our inner compass instead of defaulting to somebody else's directions. It's hard at first, but you can do it. If not for yourself, because your kids are watching. Because you want them to move out into the world being brave, making their own decisions. The second lesson is that creativity only counts if it looks like everyone else's. School made us believe that creativity only mattered if it fit the format. Color inside the lines. Write the essay in 5 neat paragraphs. Don't get too weird. School rewards sameness. And that conformity breeds comparison. Who's the smartest? Who's the most popular? Who's worth listening to? Everyone else just gets reduced to the competition. And as adults, we carry that conformity around like a weight. We compare ourselves constantly. She's doing unschooling better than me. My kids aren't motivated. Why won't mine do what they're doing? We wonder if we're messing up, if our family looks like it should. We even feel guilty if our kids learn differently because it doesn't match how the neighbor's kid is doing it. But the beauty of unschooling is there's room for everyone at the table. We don't need to copy off of anybody else's paper. We don't need to compete for most popular. Instead, our kids grow up realizing that everyone brings something valuable. And as unschooling parents, we start to see that too. We stop running the comparison game and we start celebrating what makes us and our kids unique. When our kids grow up outside that ranking system, they learn that their voice matters. Not because it's the loudest, not because the authority figure pointed to them, but because they matter as a human in this world. I'm going to stop here for just a minute because I want you to know about 2 things that I think will really help you. I have an email list that gives us another way to stay connected. You'll get reminders when there's a new podcast, plus specific strategies and tips and resources to help you on your own unschooling journey. The second thing is kind of leveling up. If you're not getting the support that you need to feel confident in all of this, joining my membership community is the next logical step. We do 2 group coaching calls every week where you can brainstorm with other unschooling parents, and we tackle real issues that people are facing. We have a variety of ways of connecting with each other so you don't have to feel so alone. And as a podcast listener, I'm waiving the sign-up fee for you, so you can hop in monthly and stay as long as it's helpful. Okay, back to the podcast. And number 3, if you don't fit the mold, you are the problem. This may be the hardest lesson that school gave us. If you struggled in that system, the problem was you. Struggle with the format, you're behind. Can't memorize fast enough, you're not smart. Don't care about the lesson, lazy. And how many of us are still carrying that into our adulthood? We feel like imposters even when we're good at what we do. We worry constantly that we're not doing enough, not organized enough, not patient enough, not structured enough, not creative enough. The list, it goes on, right? And we're quick to doubt ourselves the minute something doesn't look like the standard picture, the story we have in our head. But you were never broken. The system was. School convinced too many of us that the fault lies inside ourselves. It was a way to keep the system running smoothly. We can't slow down for every single person, but unschooling reminds us that we can. We can take the pace that fits our kids, our family. And struggles, they don't mean failures. They just mean we're learning in a different rhythm that we haven't figured out yet. When our kids grow up outside those school molds, they step into adulthood with more confidence. They know that learning is flexible, that interests are worth following. But more importantly, they were never trained to doubt themselves in the first place. Imagine if your kids, as adults, don't second guess themselves the way we do. As parents, this is where the hard work comes in. It's hard to unlearn those lessons. 12 plus years of school ingrained them deeply in us. It takes real courage to stop conforming, to stop placating whoever's trying to enforce the status quo. But when we do, we give our kids a better start than we had. They have permission to be curious. They have space to be creative. They have confidence to trust themselves. If you've read any of John Holt, you'll know that the core message is about trusting children. And what he said was to trust children, we must first trust ourselves. And most of us were taught as children that we could not be trusted. Think about that message and how you want to change that with your own kids. Because that's what unschooling offers. It's not just about learning academics. It's a way of living and learning that says you are enough. You can be trusted. You can trust yourself. You don't need to fit somebody else's mold to be okay. No grading system can measure that. Instead, we're setting them up to thrive in the real world. Yes, they need to learn things to move forward, but their adulthood is going to look way different than ours. Helping them learn these kinds of concepts are what's going to help them succeed in the world. If you're listening today and thinking, wow, I recognize those old school lessons in myself, you're not alone. We all do. And you don't have to carry them forward. It's about noticing them when they pop up, noticing when you feel a little bit critical, noticing critical of your kids, critical of yourself, and stopping yourself. Even if it comes out and you say, hey, let me redo that. You can do that. And if you'd like extra support in stepping away from that conditioning and learning a little bit more about how unschooling can really work, check out my Unschooling 101 course. It's a quick, clear way to help you shift into this new way of thinking. And if you're wishing you had a little more community to muster up some of that courage, my Creating Confidence membership is where we walk on this path every day together. I'll put links for all of that below, but it's linked from the Unschooling Mom to Mom website. So thanks for spending a little time with me today. Remember, your kids aren't going to have those hidden school lessons, and you have the chance to stop carrying them around too. I'll see you next time.